Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you another way of preserving olive. Of course you can't eat the olive as they are because they are quite bitter, and one of the easiest way to actually preserve and prepare the olive for eating is using salt and dehydration. Therefore it's something which it's one of the easiest ways. If you are interested to find out how you can do it at home, please keep watching. Obviously, the first steps of preparing the olives is basically taking off the branches and leaf and any small or damaged olive out of this patch. And then when this stage is done, we wash the olive in the cold water. But chucking those very small one away. Just getting rid of all of those branches, anything looking a bit going off. Olive can get fungi if they sit too long. The best when you pick them up to process them as soon as possible. All of those olives now is cleaned. I'll look at the next steps. Pour it gently in the sink and start washing them. Get all of the dust off. As we're washing them, we lift them to the colander. Depends. Usually one wash is enough. If very fussy, you can wash it twice, especially in this method, because unlike other methods which is using brine, you don't use the water, just you add salt. Therefore maybe you want to wash it twice. I do second wash because the olive was a bit dirty. So this is again fresh water. You can just mix the olive with the water and then start again. It's the same process. Put it in the colander. And as you can see, the water now is quite nice and clean. Try to get rid of the water as much as we can. Well, this olives now washed twice and nice and clean. Now we add a bit of salt as they're sitting in colander. Doesn't matter they have a bit of water on them because actually helps those salts stuck to the olive much nicer. And then use the spoons and start to just mix them up like this. And add a bit more salt. Add generous amount of salt. Basically we have cooking salt, or you can use whatever salt you wish to, but cooking salt is fine. Just make sure all of the olive they are well coated with salt. obviously the salt's going to help all of the bitterness of the olive just come out. And of course, in this method, the olive, they look a bit shrinked, but as I said, that is one way. And if you have a nice olive just like this Kalamata, or this big size olive, it's quite nice way to eat it. And obviously the salt content is a bit higher. All right, now this is done, therefore we shift those colander and put it in a tub. I'm just going to show you now. We salted our olive and they are sitting in a big colander, and I put it in a tub to keep it up, and therefore all of the juice of the olive and salt going to drip down. And in order to not spark the stuff and get into, I put a tea towel over it and put it in the kind of cool, nice place and let it happening. Okay, after sitting the olive in those colander with the salt, we see as you can see here, the olive start to shrink and sugar. And the way you can test them if they are ready or not, basically you wash and you eat one of them. But during that few weeks, every few days I move them like this to make the salt mix well. And as you can see here, all of the salt and excess water and bitterness of the olive actually is slowly dripping off from that colander. I find that system is quite good, and let's test one of those and see is that ready to eat. Beautiful. All right, let's look at the next step. All right, as you can see, those olive quite dehydrated. I taste them. They are ready to be preserved to the final stage. At this point, I empty those water, and we're going to wash this one later on. But to get rid of the excess salt, I'm going to run with the cold water to get all of the salt off those olive, which is sitting outside of the stove. You can see all of the salt is coming through. It's a lot of salt. Make sure get all of the salt off. You appreciate this. Otherwise it's going to be very salty, which is not good for your health either. Alright. All good. Alright. The next step is we adding those olive to that 50% vinegar and let it sit for half an hour to just absorb some of the vinegar and water to make it not as dry. Now they are quite dry. I like to make it a bit more juicy, and by doing that actually also you make it a bit better for preserving, because acidity is good. With acidity and salt stop to growing anything on those olive before you can preserve them a bit longer. Let's see the next step together. Right now I adding 1.5 liter of the white vinegar in the pot with 1.5 liter of water, which make it 50% diluted of the vinegar, and make it to the bowl and then switch it off and you're going to see next steps what we're going to do with that diluted vinegar. At that point, 50% vinegar and water is boiled. I turn it off. Then when it stops boiling, I add olive inside this. Obviously, you make enough vinegar and water to basically cover like what you see, all of your olive, and you leave it for half an hour. During that half an hour, some of the salt is gonna be coming out and to this solution, and some of the vinegar also penetrate inside of the olive, which make it a bit more less dry and a bit more juicy. Therefore we wait for, at the moment those olive, they're sitting in diluted vinegar over half an hour. There's no reason you can't keep it longer, but I don't want it to become too soggy. And at that point I'm going to just put in colander, get rid of the excess salt and some of the bitterness, and get a bit of acidity to our olive. Okay, I'll add it to this pot now. In that stage, I'm gonna add some oregano, about 1.5 tablespoons. Around 1 tablespoon of the garlic powder. And 1 tablespoon of chili flake, not too full. If you want a more spicy, a bit more, but I think that will do. And then I add some olive oil in top of it. And slowly mix those one together. And then let it cool. You're almost there. A bit more olive oil. We can mix them. Let it a bit cool, then we transfer it to the dishes and we can keep it in fridge for a while. Let's try one of them. Pretty good. Alright, our preserved olive, they are ready to consume. As I said, you can keep them in fridge for a few months, but it's something you have to actually consume it earlier. It's better, and you can have it with just like a snack, like now, with a bit of cucumber and carrot or celery, a bit of cheese, and make it nice, healthy snack. Just if you enjoy watching this video, please don't forget to give it a thumb up and share it with your family and friends. And until next week, please keep active, eat healthy, and be curious. Bye for now.